Richard, this is the way the skins come. As you can see, they have different sizes as well depending on the kind of the skin. If you look at the two on the bottom, they are unsanded, okay? The eye, what we call the eye, is a lot more visible than in any of these others where the skin is sanded. Now, this is important because the girth of the skin changes if the skin is sanded or unsanded. Now, let me show you. Let me just move it over here to show you the difference in the girth. For example, this skin, as you can see, it's a little bit difficult because of the color, but it is unsanded. So these little pearls are a lot more visible. Even to the touch, it's a different feeling. If you look at this other piece of skin, okay, compared one to the other, which is sanded, you can somewhat tell the difference between this one and the way this one feels to the touch and how it's sanded or not. Now, more importantly, let me show you both of them together so you get an idea of the girth. You see, the one on the top, which is sanded, is a lot thinner than the one on the bottom. Okay, so you have to know those kinds of things. The craftsman must know these kinds of things so that he can buff down or he can sand down the piece according to the skin that he's going to use. No two skins. Now let me show you something else. The eye of the skin, for example, the girth at this very point, at this very top point, this girth right here is different than the one that you would see on any other part of the skin. The skin has somewhat of a, let's say, a slope from this very top, from the back, or what we call the eye of the skin to the back. It tends to slope down so that in terms of girth. So it's a lot thinner on this edge than it is right here on the middle, okay? That makes an important difference. And you have to know, a qualified craftsman will have to know that he has to sand down every piece so that he can accurately place the skin on the doors and for it to look both correctly and for the door to close correctly. Okay? Now let me show you something else which is important for your concern on translucentness. Look at the bottom of how every skin comes, okay? You can see, as I mentioned to you, and I gave you the example, this is as if it were suede on the bottom. This is how every single skin, if it's real, this is how every single skin comes. Just to give you an idea, for example, look. You see, the same thing happens on this side, okay? The same thing. The same thing for this skin. The same thing, the same touch. It'll be very, very, not to say impossible, but it'll be almost impossible for anything to be translucent behind it. Now let me do another experiment for you so you get an idea. Okay? This is the same kind of raw wood that we sent the pieces on. I'm going to apply right here on top, okay, a piece of very, very light color shagreen. Now, as you can see, you cannot see anything. This is a very, very stained piece of wood, and you put it on top and you don't see anything. Now I'm going to give you an even more of an option. I'm going to put a lamp on it. You cannot barely see, you cannot even see, not even barely, the difference between the skin and what is underneath. Now that said, the person must prepare that if they want with a primer, if they want just to be sure, or if they want, how they want to prepare that is up to every single company because everyone has their own application methods. Okay, but anybody who's acquainted with what a skin looks like, how it is supposed to be properly applied, should not be worried that the skin is going to be translucent and see-through. Okay, that is the same. The same applies for the skin as the little holes that they mentioned on the sides of the doors. Okay, that shouldn't be a problem. All right, as I mentioned to you, skins vary in their size, in their colors, and everything, but the standard is still the same. Okay, when it comes to the application.